The Irish packaging group Smurfit Kappa wrapped up a disappointing first quarter today. Earnings of €266 million marked a 1% fall on the same period a year ago. This despite a 2% rise in revenue to just under €2 billion. Now, at the same time, Smurfit Kappa announced that its CEO, Gary McGann, is to retire after 13 years at the helm of the group. Tony Smurfit has been appointed CEO designate, and he'll be taking over in August. Now, with us now on the phone is the outgoing CEO, Gary McGann. Gary, good to speak to you this afternoon. Some might say, actually, you more or less hit targets with regards to those numbers. Just talk us through some of the highlights that you see at the company now and where some of the challenges are.
Sure. Let me deal with the results first of all. We took a decision to write our Venezuelan translation, the translation of our Venezuelan business. We chose to translate it at 193 bolivars to the dollar, which is a new rate in Venezuela, and basically take our Venezuelan earnings down to below 1% of the group. That was a prudent action to take in a very hyperinflationary environment, and it's a one-off impact, the net consequence of which will not perpetuate. Venezuela will now be effectively 1% of the group's earnings, and so it doesn't distort it any further. So taking that one-off impact out of the equation, we would have beaten our results year on year and would have beaten consensus. And so the underlying business is doing well. And from our point of view, the results actually weren't disappointing. They were fundamentally good, and more importantly, the platform going forward is positive and progressive, and we are well positioned for earnings growth year on year despite taking that hit. In terms of the opportunities in the business, we're a geographically diverse business, and we have a strong integration between packaging back into paper. So we, if you like, hedge the highs and lows of volatility in businesses that can sometimes be considered cyclical. In terms of our core business going forward, in Europe, we have seen good growth year on year in the quarter, up 4% in a region that is seen to be somewhat pedestrian in its economic performance. Our business is doing well, and we expect it to continue to do so, and that's a function of our differentiated offering to customers and the efficiencies we've built into our business coming through the significant impact of the recession and the work we've done to actually right-size and operationally impact the business.
Sure. Gary, what is pricing like at the moment, and is there a big difference in pricing if looking at the States, for an example, or looking at South America versus Europe versus Asia?
Well, they're very different markets. Most of these markets in our business are all local type markets with very little activity crossing the boundaries. We have customers across the boundaries, but obviously the pricing is reflective of the individual markets in which we operate. If we take the two regions of Europe and the Americas separately, in Europe what we're seeing is flat pricing coming into 2015, but we are seeing pricing momentum as a result of tight inventories in paper stocks, some raw material upward pressure, and the opportunity to differentiate our offering in the market. So we expect to see some pricing momentum in Europe. In the Americas, in Latin America in particular, in our bigger countries like Mexico and Colombia, we've seen a weakening in their local currencies, which requires us to put through further pricing, which we are expecting to get. But also we have some operational efficiencies that we're driving there, and we have acquisitions that were overlaid on the region, which will give us a further upside.
Gary, you're retiring after 13 years at the helm of the company. What would you like to be remembered for, and what would you like to see happen next for the company?
I suppose what I'd like to be remembered for are the people I'm leaving behind, because it's a fantastic company with a great leadership, and Tony is going to be a fantastic successor, and I think he'll take the company to new heights. He and I and Ian Curley have soldiered together for 13 years, and we've all signed up to the mission and the vision, and Tony will execute it phenomenally well and will do his own thing. So great team, great operations, and a fantastic business. That's I think the more than anybody could ask for.
Gary, thank you very much for being with us, and good luck on the next chapter of your life, the next venture that you're looking at. Gary McGann, the outgoing CEO of Smurfit Kappa.